sore holding this. Hello. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. This is your first time joining me. Thank you for finding me. This is not your first time. All right, there we go. We're back. Okay, so can you guys see me now? Are you able to see and hear me now? All right, yeah, I crashed the app. I totally crashed the app. Mercury has really totally raised the bar, is what it is. Mercury raised the bar, and it's a overachieving. It's doing some overachieving stuff. So as I was saying, I figured I'd come live again since I completely botched the energy update from earlier. I got sidetracked and then just, kind of went off on a tangent, stayed on that tangent, never came back to the topic at hand. So yeah, no, not raising the temp at all. All right. I totally had to yawn, and I couldn't even hide my face while I yawned. How is you guys doing? Love is all we need. The love, not the fake love, not the one-sided, one angle type of love. Hello, moon chicken. Hello. Love conquers all. And how does it do the conquering? Do tell. What's your definition of love, guys? I want to know. How do you define love? What is your concept of love? Just curious. Just toss out thoughts. I promise I'm not setting you up for something. Just the jerking back and forth is not the business. Let's see. Michelle, you absolutely should 100% go to a doctor if you've had a seizure. Ascension or not, that is a physiological condition that needs to be checked out by the doctor. Absolutely, please go to the doctor to make sure you're okay. Hello, Jennifer. So, markers. Feelings deep within, giving rise to emotions of having trust in another. Stephanie, honesty, people being who they are, and they have your back and will be honest. Understanding and willing to compromise. Belongs to one partner, belongs to the other, half and half. Okay. What else are your guys' definition of love? How do you define love? A feeling of belonging and acceptance and knowing you belong. Okay. Keep going. You could write a book on it. That would be good. That would definitely be good. So for me, love, personally, love for me is more than just the positive. Love also contains within it the negative, because love is a totality. And in order to be a totality, there's a recognition. There's a need for a recognition, acknowledgement of love having various components. Sometimes the most loving thing that can be done is to either initiate or finalize a destructive process, to undo, to negate certain things. Now, what is this?
Oh, I know it's for you though.
Oh, from Indonesia.
Is that you? That is it. Let's smell.
It's powder. It's mimosa pudica. Mimosa. You ever heard of that producer Mimosa?
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna slap you with a bag of mimosa. All right, so I got my mimosa. Anyways, but accepting both negative and positive, it lets you be who you are, even if you have to leave. The beauty we see, we love in hearts and minds, the attractions of faith, and another connecting through feelings. Love is nurturing. Love is accepting the whole person, the good, the bad, and the ugly parts. That's amazing. Can love also be, can a form of love also be having negative, toxic exchanges with individuals? Can that also be a form of love? Like if I have a toxic relationship and the love is one that causes me to question myself, causes me to feel badly about myself, could that also be a form of love? Could it be that regardless of intent, on a soul energetic level, the two individuals who are having that type of exchange, despite the human brain's inability to grasp, could that be an exchange of love where through my resistance, through my challenging of you and your boundaries, I'm actually empowering you to have that moment of realization where you will consciously choose yourself? Could that be a form of love? I say yes. From personal experience with my marriage, I can't read. We passed that phase and now are actually happier than ever with 18 years strong. That's awesome. That's awesome. But is that love? Do we excuse away the things that people do to us? That's a question indeed, because if you excuse it away, are you really taking that opportunity and utilizing it in the way that it could be utilized, where you're allowing yourself to have that aha moment and choose yourself? If you're excusing away someone else's behavior, someone else's malicious treatment of you, I don't know that you're really learning the gravity of what that moment is teaching you. Through the challenges we find growth, absolutely. I have been in a relationship for months now, but last night I had to question how he treats me. You do have to question sometimes. Yes, I have no relationship with my family, but I love them enough to not have in my life, and they on a soul level love me enough to grow me, to have grown me to take my path, even though they aren't in my life. Yeah. How do you define unconditional love? A love without conditions, limitations, expectations, impositions. It's love unconditional. My love is unconditional. You don't have to earn it. I just love you. Does that mean I'm going to allow you to continue to hurt me? No. Because you hurt me, does that suddenly make you unworthy of my love? No. Because I love you, does that mean you have to remain a physical part of my life? No. Love unconditional. A love that allows you to be who you are, as you are, in the moment that you're in. Accepting you, while also maintaining my own boundaries to ensure my personal... What the frack is that
That's
smell?
what I'm just saying.
Is that the car in front of us?
Uh-huh.
Hello, sir. You have polluted the air of the entirety of Colorado. I'm going need you to pull over and throw that fucking car away. What the hell is that? That's not right?
No.
Excuse me, sir.
That's what you call a Cali.
Exhaust leak. Sir, please fix your exhaust system. There's a leak. There is a leak in your system. I smell it in my car. That stank so bad. That made me dizzy. Excuse me, sir. I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. I'm about to roll down my window. Let me fart in your car. Pollute your air. Girlfriend. Was that my lash lady?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. That's an old lady.
My lash lady is an old lady.
No, she don't look like that.
I don't have my glasses on.
Just like P. Diddy. That's not P. Diddy.
Hey, why you gotta bring that up? Why you gotta bring that up?
So we was traveling.
Anyways, he's trying to bust me out about how one day we were driving down the freeway. I think we were in two separate cars, and I was like,
No,
I called you.
we're in the same car.
We're in the same
We're
car.
on our way to Pennsylvania.
No, we were in California.
No, we weren't. Oh, 101.
We weren't on 101. We were on 880 passing San Leandro. And I was following behind you. And I was like, Daddy, look to the right. It's P. Diddy in an old ass car. And he goes, you are so blind. That is not P. Diddy.
You're next to me.
I was like, it's Puff Daddy.
You're right here. Anyways.
It was P. Diddy. You don't know that.
Oh, whatever.
You don't know that. That could have been Puff Daddy.
Oh, whatever.
Rice is rice.
Is rice.
And he's never let me live that down. Excuse me, because I try and exist within a budget, and I didn't want to buy glasses, which I still don't wear my glasses. Okay. Anyways, going back to what we were talking about, you guys. Going back to what that was my lash lady.
No, was it?
I'm gonna text her and be like, hey Erica, what's up?
No,
We were driving past your house. That's gonna sound real not crazy. I was driving past your house earlier, and I just wanted to make sure that was you that I saw in your vehicle. That sounds like some shit that I've been through. We were driving past your condo. And I just wanted to see if you'd admit that you were home. Now that's not crazy. That's not crazy. You know, is she from the Ukraine or Serbia?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to fuck with her because she will grab me by my throat. You can't, no. Women from those types of countries, you don't fuck with them. You just don't. I'm not afraid. I just know what I can get away with and what I can't, and she's not going to let me get away with that shit. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm very realistic. There are some countries and cultures that will let you get away with that crazy shit. And then there who won't. She's not from a country that will let me get away with it. She will be like, what did you say? I'm just joking. I didn't. Volcanoes are becoming active in certain places in the U.S. I heard it's because of the fracking of the oil. Well, the fracking of the oil can't possibly be good. It can't possibly be good. Like, we're driving past the fracking scene. Man, that just... Just breathe, girl. Jennifer! She said, I didn't want to buy glasses, so I bought a bigger TV. That hurt my chest. I did the bench press yesterday. My chest hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. I'm like defenseless today. Love without judgment and immense acceptance and understanding. That's beautiful. No active volcanoes in the U.S. Are there no active volcanoes in the U.S.? Serbia. What woman let anyone get away with anything? They're just more patient and wait years to show. And it might person is the most loveliest woman ever. Um, she's never inappropriate, always very proper. Um, but I could just tell something about her energy. She will shake me if she needs to. And then she'll unfriend me because I've made a mess on in her home. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know the limits within which I can operate when I'm being a pain in the ass for people. um, let's see. Love is remaining in that confusion of faithfulness to one's desires for passion in her marriage and not giving into obtaining it from outside because she desires it from her husband, no one else. Huh. So love is about sexual gratification and your ability to control primordial urges. Is that what you mean? I don't know that love is tied to lust. Urges that are rooted in the soils of lust. Because if that's what you're talking about, like a desire for passion and love being an expression of loyalty by not receiving passion from someone outside of that recognized legal union, then I think that would be more like lust, would it not?
How to get you out?
Shit.
Young kid.
Is it not though? Because for me personally, I don't know, I might just be weird. I have no desire to have some boom chicka wow wow with other people. And if I have boom chicka wow wow with my husband, it would be an overflowing expression, of an overflow of my connection with him. So I'm not really sure where my thoughts are going with this. Right. Raslin, love creates communion of self, of consciousness, and that's how I see that. That it would be a communion between the men receive unconditional love, men receive love based on what he can provide. I don't know about that either. I don't know about that. And it's a bit sad because I'm assuming that type of statement is based on what you've lived through. And I find it sad that you have yet to encounter a feminine with the caliber of love that would help you to recognize the flaw in that logic. It's real life. Okay. Men receive love based on what he can provide. Daddy, do you mind if I bring you into this conversation?
Sure.
So, for much of our marriage, you provided financial stability.
Correct.
No questions, no nothing. As you provided financial stability, I took care of everything else.
Yes.
Because that was the exchange that we naturally fell into.
Right.
Do you work right now in a 9-to-5 job for someone else?
No.
No. So at this point, are you providing financial stability in the sense that you used to?
No.
Do you still receive the same amount of love from me that you did in the past when you were providing financial stability for our family?
Even more now.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in. He says that now that he is not working and we've switched roles and I'm the breadwinner, he is receiving even more love. So let that sink in. You can't retract what you said. You say, here we go, that's y'all. Y'all don't reflect the world as it is today. So you're saying that a negative reflection is more a reflection than a positive reflection is reflection. Most women can't describe their ideal mate without money being spoken of. So most men can't describe their ideal mate without being mothered as a part of that contractual agreement. So how's that? You know, people will fall into whatever role you ask them to fill. This is the internet where everything is perfect. Sounds to me like you got a chip on your shoulder. You didn't get what you want. You didn't get to be mothered the way you wanted to be mothered, either by your mother or the woman you tried to use to replace your mother. How about you mother yourself? How about you mother yourself? How about you provide for yourself? How about you create happiness for yourself and then allow that happiness to be shared with the person you choose, instead of trying to force someone else to be responsible to provide for you the very things that you're seeking. No, it's not a typical response. It's a real response. It's a real response. You want someone to perpetuate the wounded masculine. Unfortunately for you, you didn't put yourself in front of a wounded feminine. I'm an empowered feminine. I believe in empowering the masculine. See, and that's part of what narcissism does. Narcissism will try and trigger something in order to justify their suffering, and then turn around. Daddy, can you put the phone down?
He said, I never said what I want to.
No, it's okay. Narcissists will do that, and they'll try and turn around. Typical response. You don't know what I'm talking. No, you said what you were saying, and I gave you an example. And I have a very healthy, balanced, strong masculine sitting beside me as my equal. Not before me, not behind me, but beside me as my equal. And it didn't justify, it didn't support your distorted reality. And so now you try and put it on everyone else. I'd like to think he's in a room full of empowered people, not just women. Now, I have a very deep, very, very deep appreciation for men who can hold their own in the presence of empowered women. Have a very deep appreciation for that. You don't need to beat your chest. You don't need to exhibit silverback behaviors, you know. But you need to recognize your behaviors. You're being held accountable for the words that you're writing, the behaviors that you're showcasing. You have wounds that need your attention. You have wounds that need your attention. You know, you do. It's you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. But the fact is, I know my truth. I know I represent quite a few other people. My reality is not unique. It is shared by quite a few other individuals. Quite a few. You're speaking in such generalities, and then you refuse to allow anything that's positive to be also spread as a generality.
You should sit quietly and observe sometimes.
Ooh.
You don't always have to talk.
Oh, damn. Say that louder, Daddy.
Sometimes you just have to sit and observe. You don't always have to be talking or the center of attention at every single minute.
Fuck. That right there. Powerful ass fucking man. I swear to God. Woo! That was hot.
Oh, man, it's just like two alpha males in the same fucking room. What are you gonna do? Throw your cocks out and start swinging at each other? No. You're not barbarians and shit.
Ooh. Damn. Damn. I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you. And you want to try and like deflect. Your wounds are showing. There's no shame in your wounds, but allow them to heal. You're in the presence. I'm talking about my husband. I do. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. This is not pity. It's not pity. I feel bad for you because I feel the part of you that is begging for someone to recognize them. You're hurt. You've been hurt. And in whatever world you exist within, you're not allowed to address your wounds because it's somehow seen as a form of weakness. And it's not. Being that you are allowing yourself to heal yourself, that is a form of empowerment. No, it's more than just that pain. It's more than just that pain. There's a lot of things you don't want to recognize about your journey, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Those are things you have to discover on your own. But in my attempt to respect your boundaries and privacy, I won't allow your wounds to spill over onto my sacred ground. You will not bleed over the ones who did not cause the wound to begin with. You will not bleed on us who did not wound you. You make these statements, you people, you this, you that. You make statements. You make statements, and people respond to the statements you make. So if you want people to see you in a different way, make different statements, engage different forms of conversation. Who's mad? Ain't nobody mad here. You're the only one that's thinking everyone's mad at you. The truth is, most of the people that are here sharing this space with me and with you recognize the wounds that you're trying to cover up with chest puffing, with tail feather shaking, with emojis. You're not laughing, you're mad. You're mad because for the first time in your life, you have in front of you a woman who is willing to see you in your vulnerability. And I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I'm asking you to stop showcasing yourself in a way that paints you. You are painting yourself in the way that people are seeing you. In this moment, I'm choosing to give you a form of love that is firm, that is powerful, that will not waver in the face of distortion. And you don't know what to do with that, and it's okay. It's okay if you don't know what to do with that. If your pride is wounded right now, if your pride is bruised because I stood my ground, that's okay. Back away slowly, quiet down, let yourself watch this a few times, and you'll see no one's attacking you. No one in this group is attacking you. This group is wanting you to see this exchange you're attempting to create. And no. This place looks really like tundra-ish. This group does rock. This group does rock. And Lisa, I'm sorry you're having a hard time today. I did notice there's an uptick in energies that's causing a lot of sensitivities to rise forward. Hello, Aqua Shark. And someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yes, yeah. Due to a few statements, all of suddenly y'all actually attempted to clown on me. This is how you presented yourself. No one attacked you. No one tried to clown on you. You tried to diminish the beautifully powerful connection I have with a balanced, healed masculine. And I spoke my truth, which has nothing to do with you. And you continue to try and negate it.
I mean,
your statement is not valid. I just negated it. It's not valid. You tried to make a blanket statement, and I showed you that your blanket statement is negative and not valid. That's that. If you can't get beyond your own wounds, if you can't silence the screaming of your inner child, you probably should remove yourself. And if you can't help yourself and your attempt to bleed all over all of us, who, yes, we know nothing about you except for the statements that you've made.
Exactly.
I don't know if you have some sort of mental dysfunction that prevents you from really, and I'm not trying to clown on you, I'm being very serious. I don't know if you have some sort of mental dysfunction that prevents the more accurate interpretation of the verbal communication you're receiving. It's called the Wernickes area. And if there is damage to that portion of the brain, the way you interpret the words that you're receiving will become distorted. I'm not trying to clown you, I'm being very serious. Because everything that you're saying, that I'm seeing you write, does not seem rooted in what the actual exchange that occurred is. Can I ask why they need to be right? Because it's an external validation. They're trying to seek external validation to help quiet down a growing sense of internal lack of worth. Right, Melba, this isn't entertainment. Not at all. It's not entertainment. I am legitimately concerned that you have a functional issue that you really should address with a doctor. You guys know when I'm being sarcastic, when I'm messing with, I'm not messing around. I'm wondering, because if that, there are conditions that do that. Okay, there are conditions that create that type of struggle, and that is a very, very difficult thing in life to experience continuously, to feel like you're continuously misunderstood, unsupported, unloved. That, I don't want anyone to exist like that. So, really, Google it. Wernickes area. Wernicke. Wernickes area. I don't want anyone to exist like that, where you feel as though people continue to misjudge you. I don't know. Maybe it's just ego. Maybe it's a legitimate neurological dysfunction of a part of the brain. I don't know. But I'm not retracting anything that I've shared. I have an amazing husband who is very powerful and well balanced. He has no problem allowing me to shine. He has no problem putting my ass back in place when I'm out of line. There's nothing demeaning or disempowering about me recognizing that sometimes he needs to be like, girl, you need to just be quiet. You out of pocket right now. Your attitude is just, you have no idea what the hell you're even saying, and you need to just sit quietly and think. Because he's had to say that to me before. He has. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing about a balanced relationship. It's one where you're not so ashamed to have and afraid to have conflict because, oh, what if the other person doesn't want to hear it? No, sometimes you got to hear it. And he loves me enough to be able to tell me it. Just tell me it, Whether he leaves or stays, that's really up to him. No one's attacking him, like legitimately. No one's attacking him. I haven't seen any comments. Granted, I'm not seeing all the comments, but I haven't seen any comments that are intended to attack. Yeah. But can you say that once again, what you were saying before? Because that's like really powerful.
I don't know. It's gone.
About needing to sometimes just be quiet?
Yeah, I know what I said.
I don't remember.
Sometimes you just have to sit and observe.
Sometimes you have to just sit and observe. And my husband's a Gemini.
And I like to be center of attention.
And he liked to be center of attention. So when a Gemini who is accustomed to being the center of attention says that, that's deep. that is just some outward expression of a profound internal growth. Like, damn, I was legitimately impressed by that. That was impressive. I'm just saying. That was impressive. That tickled me. Yeah. Don't let them hear that. Destigmatization of mental health. We need to remove the stigma. And honestly, what I've noticed, minorities have a tendency to suffer more. Ooh, I think you can fit.
No,
You can squeeze right through.
I don't want to.
Minorities really, really struggle with mental health issues. Like me personally, I felt at one point in my life I was going through this existential thing. Accelerated consciousness expansion that was just so difficult to navigate, to understand, to anything. It shut me down, and I wanted to get mental health assistance. My own mother told me, no, you don't need that. You're just weak.
You really said that?
Yeah, Mom, my mom's
I
a
can
thug.
believe that. I believe that. 100%. I can.
Maybe because I'm a tug. My mom's a thug. She told me because I'm just weak. The fuck's that? Minorities will brace yourself when they figure out they are on their own like any other individual. Well, I use minorities in its colloquial, you know what the fuck I'm saying. And its more popular definition, okay? Meaning people who are not Caucasian, who are not from the Caucasus Mountains, or I do get what you're saying though, and I do agree. We are all unique and on our own, but yeah, and especially if the country that you're from is a third world country, which I'm from a third world country, there is a huge stigma. It's an embarrassment, not just for the individual, but for the family of the individual. And it's kind of seen as like indicative of flawed or weak genetics. So it's crazy. But at the same time, it's this sense that I'm not really fully in support of the mental health industry, because a lot of the things that I witness aren't necessarily true issues with mental health. They're more of, and again, there are people who have true mental health conditions that need medical assistance, but true legitimate mental health conditions are actually not as common as we'd like to think. It's not as common. Misdiagnosis is very rampant in the mental health field, and I myself lived with misdiagnosis for a period of time. Okay, misdiagnosis along with because of the misdiagnosis, I was prescribed quite a bit of medication that I actually didn't need. And is this me saying that nobody needs therapy, nobody needs psych medications? No. This is me letting you guys know. Use discernment. Don't be so quick to label yourself with some form of pathology. Okay? At the same time, don't allow yourself to be stigmatized. If you need assistance, if you need medication to assist you as you restabilize yourself, then don't be too ashamed to do that. Do I personally believe psych meds are the solution. No, I feel personally, and I'm not a licensed medical professional, these are just my personal opinions. Um, I feel that for some of us, the medication can sedate the overexpression of the emotions that are rising from the root circumstance. And when you medicate those symptomatic presentations, you might have just enough cessation in the loud, overpowering thoughts that you can begin to sort everything out and figure out where it's coming from, what the root is. You're not gonna heal until you figure out what the root of your suffering is, what the root of your thoughts and your emotions are. Medication can help with that process, but is medication going to completely resolve it? Probably not. Probably not. But that doesn't mean you should avoid um, taking medication, trying medication that's prescribed to you, simply because it didn't work for someone else. We're all so unique. The medications didn't work for me, but I'm not you. The medication could potentially work for you. You don't base your decisions on the journey of someone else, because all of our journeys are unique, very, very unique. Um, Nothing helped more than meditation, but everyone's different. See, and that's a beautiful thing, Lizzie. Meditation helped you. I am really, really good at leading group meditations. Am I capable of meditating by myself? Absolutely not. I can't meditate by myself. I've never been able to meditate on my own. Um, that's just not how my brain functions. And so I can't meditate on my own. I can lead a meditation, a group meditation. Absolutely. Can I meditate on my own? No. So would meditation, despite me having this public, I guess, persona of being some sort of spiritual something or other, yeah, no. If I tried to force myself into the box of how spiritual people are supposed to fix their struggles, that would fail miserably. Yeah. The mental health system needs to be overhauled, while at the same time people need support to get help. It makes me cry. I've been misdiagnosed and messed me up for a long time. Yeah. Oh, Michelle, that's awesome. Listening to tarot and getting readings was more proactive than therapy, but that's just me. I'm wondering if that was more proactive for you than therapy, because it was helping you to unearth the root causations of things you were struggling with. And it helped to validate the intuitive hits that you were getting from your higher self. I'm wondering if that's what was helping you utilize that in a better way. Hi, Stan. As in the change in schizophrenia to schizoaffective disorder, bipolar. Really? They changed. Wow. So Anna Marie says everyone's brain and brain chemistry is different. That's why it takes so long to find the right meds. You brought up a good topic. As I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in my late teens, early 20s, I was told that I have a chemical imbalance in my brain without having done any diagnostic testing, no scans, no blood work, no nothing. How did they come to that conclusion? Because of symptom presentation. Several years later, I had to go back because I had stopped medication for several years, was very successful being unmedicated. And then I thought I was going to go through an episode. There were changes in my life. I thought I was going to go through an episode. So I went back to the same doctors to restart my medication. I was lucky enough to get a therapist who actually listened to me. And because she listened to me, she was like, I don't think you're bipolar. And then she reassessed me and she goes, I'm so sorry, you were misdiagnosed. Okay, but I was told I have a brain chemistry issue. How do I go from brain chemistry, a chemical issue in my brain, to I was misdiagnosed? That's right, because there was no actual diagnostic testing done. I was asked questions, and based on my answers, which were answered in such a way that were I answered these questions using the filter of empathy. I was living with someone who is bipolar, and I was not aware at that time. I was pulling in all of their pain and expressing, coping with that pain in the same way they do. And so when I was asked these questions and I answered, um, was I answering for myself? No, I was answering based on the filtering that my empathy had me using. So how do we know if someone's just having a spiritual or energetic crisis, awakening? And unless these doctors become very aware of the presentation of a spiritual circumstance, energetic circumstance, morphogenetic activation and recalibration, the likelihood of them misdiagnosing you is elevated. It's elevated. Now, I want to take this moment to share this. I was having an exchange with someone in a previous live stream, and it was basically like a low-key argument. And I was having these internal thoughts, and I didn't realize that I wasn't expressing those internal thoughts, and then I ended it with mental health is a joke. I was talking about the mental health industry. For anyone who knows what I'm referencing, I don't feel mental health is a joke. I feel like people absolutely go through mental health struggles. The mental health industry is laughable. Broad statements make for horrible diagnosis. Oftentimes, what's actually going on within you, what you share, is not heard. They're looking for pathology. And yes, that's a blanket statement. Yes, there are individuals within that industry who practice their expertise differently, who actually hear. I had the good grace of being paired with one, and she helped me understand I am not bipolar. I am not antisocial. But that's the thing, you have to really find the courage within yourself to begin seeing where your behaviors and thoughts are rooted. You guys saw at the beginning of this live stream what happens when an individual either refuses or just plain out lacks the ability to recognize the truth of the circumstance they create for themselves and the communication or lack thereof they have with other people, so we're all unique. We all have unique needs. We can't really we can make blanket statements, but you can't really sit there and expect that blanket statement to be an accurate one. You just can't, and I understand sometimes we experience moments of frustration where we can't always have the PC response, and yeah, we'll blurt things out of frustration. And yes, people hopefully recognize that they need to elevate their level of grace in that moment and still share their thoughts, but also at the same time not take what you're saying personally. But it's definitely something that needs to be talked about more. The truth of mental health, the truth of our spiritual journey. Crisis of the soul is what I'm hearing right now. Many of us are experiencing some form of spiritual crisis, whether we verbalize it or not. Many of us are experiencing it because of, part of it has to do with planetary alignment, planetary behaviors. Mercury in retrograde during Pisces, that's But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Oh, Stan. Observation. Implicit bias. Well, oh, children also cannot be diagnosed with. Even how our bodies use any meds is different. Some meds work for some people and some do. That's true. Some people are prescribed um, prescription strength ibuprofen, Motrin, to address pain. It doesn't do anything. I used to. I would take it simply for the anti-inflammatory benefits, and that's what would alleviate my pain. But yeah. Oh, that's nice. Your doctor and you are just like Medea and Dr. Phil, and now he just laughs and actually listens. Those kind of doctors are not very common. They're very much a gift to the people who find themselves as their patients. They're very much a gift. I think root wounds manifest physically. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Medicine is taught systematically, not holistically. Yes. Osteopathic medicine attempts to make that shift. And naturopathic medicine exists within that shift already. So, um, osteopathic medicine is trying to serve as a bridge between ND and MD. If you want symptom suppression, go to an MD. If you want um, root cause um, healing, go to an ND. It's, yeah, it's night and day. Painkillers also reduce empathy. I can see that. I can see that. How does one book a session? Because I'm game. You can go to my website, emmieevolving.com. I have all kind of different things. If you don't really know what you need, you could do a biospiritual scan. If it's a acute type of circumstance and you're really struggling through something intense, you can just email me, contact at emmieevolving.com, and let me know what you're going through, and then I could possibly recommend something. But you guys, I do have the need to put out there, I reserve the right to refuse service. People who disrespect me directly or my team, make unreasonable demands, approach us with aggression. I understand you're going through something. I understand your frustration, but I also now understand I don't deserve that. I will not be your punching bag, nor will my team. We're here to assist, not to be your whipping child. So if you're going to come in that manner, um there is a likelihood that I will draw a boundary line and let you know, this is not a connection that will be supported. I cannot assist you, and I wish you well in finding the support that you're seeking. But I'm, you know, that phase of my life where I excuse people's behaviors and poor treatment of me because they're suffering, that phase is done. I don't wish to add to your suffering, but I'm going to love myself enough to understand, um, some people need to be helped by others, and that's okay. That's okay. So let's see. My naturopath is awesome. Part of what he says when I come is, did you? That's so sweet, Stephanie. What did she say? And he works what you say into changes and what? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely not a doctor. I do have some medical inclination, but you know, you have to use your discernment. You have to take in all the factors, consider everything, see how you feel, see what resonates, what doesn't resonate, and then decide for yourself. what you feel you should do, how you should move forward. I'm definitely one that does not believe what I say is the end all be all. Everything that I say um, is nothing but a potentiality. Like when I do a reading for you, when I scan you, all of those things, they're nothing more than potentialities. Like I can detect energetic circumstance, but has that energetic circumstance infiltrated into the density of your flesh and is now a physiological circumstance? You would need to see the doctor for that. You need to make sure. And, if anything, my thing is that go see the doctor to prove me wrong, because I don't like to believe that I was accurate in detecting serious medical conditions. I prefer that you go to a doctor and reassure me and tell me you were wrong. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not someone that needs to be right. I don't have a desire or a need to be right. Hurt people try to hurt people. I went through that phase, so I removed myself and started working on myself spiritually, mentally. Oh, that's awesome. And it's true. Hurt people try to hurt other people. It's good to have that understanding, but it doesn't change the fact that they have no right to do that to you. Okay. All right. So you guys, I gotta go too. Thank you, Roslyn. Thank you, everybody. And I don't remember the name of who I was having an exchange with earlier. If you're still here, I really want you to know I see through to the heart of you. I don't find you to be a horrible person. I do feel like there's a lot of distortions. You deserve to see, hear, and feel the truth. I hope you get whatever assistance you need, because really, um, based on the energy that I felt from the things that you wrote, um, I would love for you to have a much more satisfying, more peaceful, accepting life for yourself. Not because I pity you, but because I see you. I see the truth of you. I feel your pain. And that's not something that I want to continue. Okay. And you don't have to believe me. You can continue to have your personal beliefs. That's perfectly fine. But if you're still here on this live, I just want you to know that. I really, really do. I just want you to know that. And whatever you do with that knowing, that's up to you. Completely respect it. All right. Bye, guys.